Welcome to another video. Today is going to be a casual chit chat about some of my recent um, realizations, and it's centered around it's centered around dating shows, specifically Korean dating shows. And so, one of the most popular Korean dating shows out now and on Netflix or produced by Netflix is Singles Inferno, and I've already made two videos about it, ranking my favorite personalities on the show. And I will be honest here, when I was watching it, when I was making the videos, even when I was watching the show, I was just completely so involved in it that I didn't even stop to think about the background players, the set, the crew, the staff members, the writers, the showrunners. I didn't think about any of that. I just immersed myself in the show, thinking okay, everything about the show was just everything I saw on the show, was just a factor of these people that are here, and all of that. And then, if you consider, well, if before I even go further, what made me come to this I don't know what do you call it, backtracking, is that I recently started this show on Netflix. It's a really new show, frankly speaking, and the plot is interesting because it involves a lot of plot lines. It feels as if it's going different places, yeah, but somehow from an existential crisis we ended up in a dating show, and it's like this thing is definitely connected, you get, but um you could take each of them stand alone. I mean, the plot lines of the show called Frankly Speaking, and Frankly Speaking is also made by Netflix. So when the show started, there were some lines the actors said that made me feel like this thing is kind of making reference to a real life situation. The one about the guy saying, oh, his girlfriend will not allow him to be near other women. That one is based off of one random scandal of one Korean celebrity some years back, like a couple of years back. Then I don't know, there are just some things that I saw the actors saying and doing that I was like, oh my god, these people have to be playing off of real life characters or scandals or controversies, that even everybody, like international fans, are not even aware of. So all of that aside, the point is somehow there's the female lead is a show runner or a writer, I guess. She writes scripts for shows, she makes shows. So her considering she just came to this new idea of, she wants to make a dating show about people set on an island, far away from the world, and the name of the show, in the movie, in the drama, Frankly Speaking, is Couples Paradise. And then the other order is real life, Singles Inferno. You kind of see the mirrored opposite of it here. So Couples Paradise is three women plus a new lady, another reference to Singles Inferno, that a new contestant joined them halfway through the show, and it just brought me to this clarity. This clarity bell just rang in my head, and I was like, wow, Singles Inferno is a literal drama. You get, it's not real. I know people be like, duh, do you think everything they're doing was real? But well, for somebody like me that just takes people at their words, it kind of felt real to me. So anyway, my point is, where I'm getting to is that in Couples Paradise, which is a show within that drama, Frankly Speaking, Couples Paradise, I saw how the writers had to run around back, off screen. I was made aware of how the crew members had to do a lot of, springing in. There are a lot of similarities, the whole thing of when you compete and then you now win a date with the person. You can pick the person you want to go on a date on, regardless of their choice, or another person that wants to be with them, you get, and they'll give you a private date. All of that is just typical of, it was just mirrored Singles Inferno's skeleton or framework of being, yeah. So anyway, I just became aware of how much work it would take to make a show like Singles Inferno, and how much reality was going on even while these people were under camera, like in front of the camera, under so much attention, from there are like at least maybe 50 members, if not more, going to the hundreds of crew members, in Couples Paradise, the way it was portrayed, and I was like, wow, like I just started thinking back about all these moments where the contestant would have this interview with the writers. Like I didn't even think, I thought they were speaking to a camera. Like it's possible that exactly the way Couples Paradise is exactly what was going on Singles Inferno. And I don't mean exactly as though this person did like this. No, no, no. I mean just that frame of reference, is what they used to write Couples Paradise. And it just exposed me, like the head writer, the female lead in Frankly Speaking, that wrote Couples Paradise. I don't know if people get this Inception kind of matryoshka kind of doll kind of narration, but I hope you can stay with me. So the head writer, which is the female lead of Frankly Speaking. Now, Frankly Speaking is what the umbrella, the real drama I am watching on Netflix. Inside Frankly Speaking, there's a head writer, and she's the female lead of Frankly Speaking. So head writer, her name is Onuju. So Miss Uju has a show that she came up with as an idea to save her career, and the show she came up with is a dating show called what? Couples Paradise. So Couples Paradise here, Onuju is here, and then Frankly Speaking is the overall. So Onuju, the way they do the thing is like the couples on the contestants on Couples Paradise are interviewed by either Onuju or assistant writers or part of a writing team, and it's like interesting. They'll ask them questions. Sometimes when the contestants give a feedback, the interviewer is going to pose the question in a way that the viewers, that's me at home, like if I'm watching it, I have to get a storyline. So the Onuju's team of writers, assistants, and her team members, they created this show with a certain plot line in mind. They're not just creating this show for people to come and find love. They're creating this show to create like drama, to create spectacle out of, and then in the idea of calling it reality show, like to give this illusion of, oh, this is a reality show, people's reaction and all of that. But it's a lie, because even when people were being real in Couples Paradise, like a character like Quebec, now when he's saying what is in his heart, the writers would prod him. They would be like, I don't think you should say that, but not in so many words. They would be like, do you think this makes sense in the grand scheme of what we're trying to achieve here? This is a dating show. You can't just say, like, now, okay, the first thing that just like made me feel so naive and made me be so like, oh my god, I was so like, I was not fooled, because it's just like, it's something that I agreed, I played along with, but the one of the writers, the assistant writers, that's under Onuju, she was asking this character, this contestant in Couples Paradise here, and she was like, so you just met the women, like what do you think of the female contestants, who do you like? And he was like, very plainly, I barely did meet these people 1 hour ago, how am I supposed to like them? And it just hit me, like first episode of Singles Inferno season 3, yeah, the contestant, like within 2 seconds, like within 1 hour of meeting each other, they had to pick a choice of who they would take to the paradise with them. And it was like, so any decision, when they made those decisions, like when I was watching Singles Paradise, like Singles Inferno now, when I was watching Singles Inferno, when those people made their choice, like the first day, the first moment that they made sure that they made choice to go to paradise together, when Kim Guri didn't pick Choi Minu, and when Choi Minu picked Kim Guri, and it was like a clash, I already immediately started running with the story, like, oh my god, Kim Guri did not pick him, so this is how she is, this is what she expects. Oh, poor Choi Minu, oh, it could have, and it's like, it just came to me like a wash of cold water, that the way Quebec answered, like, how do you expect them to synchronize their choices? They barely met each other 1 hour ago. I don't think there's any intention, I don't think there was any intention behind them missing each other in the picking. Do you get? So it was just like this flash of clarity, like, bro, Choi Minu is not innocent. It's not like, I didn't see him as innocent, but I just felt like, oh, well. And again, the we have to think about also the commentators, giving commentary on the show, watching those people that were outside of the show. So in singles Inferno, I mean, there's this panel of commentators. They give commentary on the people's choices and all of that, and the contestant choices and all of that. So those commentators, they now emphasize that little stirring of feeling that would be in any viewer, because when Kim Giri didn't picture him, like she was being cold, and like supposedly cold. This is someone that just came to an unfamiliar place, probably with hundreds of camera people watching her, and then there will be lights, there will be cameras, there will be the host and everything behind the scenes watching her. Like, of course her face is going to be straight, of course she's going to look very like borderline uncomfortable. Now that I think about it, like borderline icy, because it's an unfamiliar environment. Like, it's perfectly normal, and it's perfectly normal for her to, be very self conscious in a way that she will pick only the things that is safest for her, safest to her own logic and everything. She won't think of anybody else but herself, basically, when she was making that choice. Same with Trem, same with other contestants. I mean, it just means now that those people that matched the first time they met in Singles Inferno season 3, like, it was just purely luck, or maybe there was some kind of signals. Like, if you watch it when you see them in Couples Paradise, like when they first meet, there's a way all of them reacted to each other's first impression, and because of the way Quebec, one of the characters in Frankly Speaking, that ended up being a contestant in Couples Paradise, because the way Quebec was so real, and unfiltered, he came off as very, strange. It came off as strange. You wouldn't think, oh, this guy is being real, is unfiltered. You don't know this person. He could be a rude motherfucker for all you know. He could be a complete weirdo that would, like, you don't know what he's capable of. So they already had feelings about, like, okay, not feelings as in emotional, they just had like reservations, about him. And so obviously when they were picking each other the first time they met, I'm using my hands to indicate Couples Paradise here. So when they met each other, like Couples Paradise, the first episode, when they wanted to pick each other for something, of course they would avoid him. It's not because he's bad or he's good or he's, just they don't know each other, and they're just using like the barest of the barest minimums, picking at straws to be able to like connect with somebody you just met, which is impossible, but still, just to get along with that first stage. Literally, when Quebec was like, I just met this person 1 hour ago, how am I supposed to like them or admire them or see them in any light aside from strangers? And the show writer was like, bro, you are here for a show, okay? You are here to give people something. Can't you just, it was just like basically asking him to play along. Do you understand? And I cannot, like, I just have to imagine how the contestant on Singles Inferno 2 would probably be prodded by the writers on the show, giving them interviews, prodding them, and like being like, we're just here for a show, like, just play along, okay? You're not a kid here, just play along. That kind of feeling. I was like, and then me as a mindless, viewer, just going along with like the original intent of the show writers, which is to dramatize the experience of reality shows. Like, reality shows are not real. Basically, I think my conclusion of this is just, reality shows are not reality shows. Reality shows are scripted drama sequences or scripted plays that are made to look like real life, so that people can just have a different can put on a different perception towards it. The idea of, if something is reality, there's a way you judge it differently, there's a way you enjoy it differently and all. Because even if, frankly speaking, when all of the shenanigans were over and they went home, the whole family, like the family members of the contestants, were watching it, and they were like, they were immersed in the story, because there was a story. There's always a story in every reality show. And I think that's what I just came to realize now, that Singles Inferno is just selling us a story, basically. And it's like selling us a story like any other K-drama out there. The only thing is that you just get non-professional actors to come and play along. And now it's like my judgment of Guan He feels so naive even. I mean, if I, because when I was ranking him, he was like the least, I complained a lot about him and everything, and it was like, now I realized that that's what he intended it for. And because there's one other interesting thing Onuju came to say, she was like that there are two different kind of people that come on reality shows. One, they come to secure the bag as this popular cutesy loving energy personality, or they get attention by being intentionally aggravating, intentionally, just being a rude piece of shit, just to get attention, basically just to get attention for, I don't know, whatever means they have. And and she was telling this her person that she was biased to. And then another thing, before I go there, she was telling this person she was biased to, but it made she said people just come on the show to get attention in a negative light for some certain reasons. And I just realized that that's what Guani's whole MO was in Singles Inferno season 3. It just came on that show to be an attention whore in a way, like, which maybe attention whore is a bit harsh because I still feel like I'm judging him, but he just came on the show to just get attention, and he did. Like, people's wagging tongues over him, and Guani's behavior, it's so pointedly, if now that I can look back on it, like now that I'm achieving third viewer status, like in different status, watching, reflecting on his action, I just see now that he was playing a role. He just came to play a role. And then there's another thing I noticed, I saw clearly, was that the lady that he ended up picking, Choi, his son, the drama he created with other female contestants, all of it was just a play. I mean, if you just watch Frankly Speaking, simply from Couples Paradise, if you just watch it, you'd see, you just like, it just feels so, how did I not see this? Do you get? But like, they are so good at that. I feel they're so good at that. And it's interesting because and then there was a contestant to, like, in Couples Paradise, which is the dating show inside that dating show written by the female lead of Frankly Speaking. So there was a contestant in Couples Paradise, Young. She was literally on the call screaming with her boyfriend, like having a quarreling match with her boyfriend over the phone, like, because I think the guy was unhappy about her, picking somebody or going on the show even, and she was like, I'm just doing it for, appearance. She be understand this day. I think they were having issues, yeah, in their real life relationship, and then she came on the show maybe to prove a point to him or something, but she wasn't going to take it seriously, she was just going to play along with all the proddings. That's what I'm saying. Like, the show gives you these proddings to play a certain role, and you play that role, it's only, I feel like it's only if you're extremely naive you come on this show thinking you are going to find the love of your life. Or I think it's very naive. It's a very naive expectation of any contestant to go on the show, like, for example, Singles Inferno, to say they are looking for love. They're not really looking for love. It's even funny that Couples Paradise even got to the point where they picked, this whole selection, this person, make a final choice of your partner, make a final choice of, and they did that in Couples Paradise, which is just typical Singles Inferno. It's how Singles Inferno usually end, and when it ends, we're all like, oh god, I don't like the result. So back to Guan He, I feel like either the lady he picked at the end of the show was original, like they've known each other outside of the show, or they just had this agreement, because in Couple Paradise it's obvious they have this little gist where the camera is not, the cameras, and then another thing you have to realize, the cameras cannot be there 24 hours a day with them. So when the cameras go to bed, they will definitely sneak around and find places where they can have personal discussion. So like, a person can meet up with a person and be like, oh, we are end game, oh, let's just play a game, let's just do this thing for popularity, let's just play well. And I feel like that's kind of like what Guan He did with his son, you get. But this is just like speculation. I'm not making a claim on anything. This is just my own realizations, my own imaginations of what could have happened behind the scenes. Like, they could have just been playing smart, it's just like, oh, come on here, and we'll play a role, I know I said a lot of things about Minu and Shield, but like whatever, they play the role well. If it's real, and again another thing again, if it's real, good for them. But for me, I don't see any of it as real. For Netflix even using it as a blatant like prototype for a plot line in their own drama that they produce, frankly speaking, it just shows the flimsiness of it. Do you know, like Netflix is just showing how flimsy their show is in a way, which I don't know if they intend to do that or if they feel like, well, it's all entertainment, it's all show business here. What are we here for? It's just watching people. Like you get a satisfaction and I get my money, or I get my, I don't know, what does Netflix get from audience? Money. All of that. And then the people playing these roles get their media enlightenment, or what do they call it, I don't know, influencer status, because every single Inferno contestant has gone on to promote their career in show business. You know, they are actors, they are models, they are this, they are that. And I don't just want to focus on Guan Hee. I also have to call myself out for how I ranked Ijin Sok. Is it Ijin? Yes, Ijin Sok. Ijin Sok number one on my list. Like his role was good. Now, the way I was just rating him, how he was this, he was that. It's just like he was. Probably he was given the role of mood maker. I don't know, and then he was put in situations that made him, you know. And I don't think it's something you have to spell out for somebody. You get you that you came on the show. You know what you're looking for. Okay, he has a business. He has ambitions. Of course he wants to promote it, and how else to bring attention to what you do than putting yourself, you know, on the stage for billions of people to watch you and judge you and pick you apart. You know, you get something out of it. And so I feel like him too was also prodded by the writers to play a certain role. And then from Couples Paradise, you can see how the crew is made, the cameras are set up to create the storyline. Like the way they just created the storyline of, oh, jealousy between Kibeg and Jung Hon because of this lady Uju, you know, they created a story. And if you were watching it randomly, like by yourself, like me, ordinary viewer, you'd be like, oh, I'm rooting for this guy, they love triangle, I hate love triangles, oh, this guy should just make a choice. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, there was a whole lot of drama, you know, like serious drama that, you know, like love triangles are not real. Again, another important thing to know, love triangles are not real. Yeah, whatever. So just creating all of that buzz for the viewers to enjoy. After all, it's a show. You know, a show is just a different kind of film or series. You know, it doesn't, there's no reality to it in that sense. It's just all our expectations of people put in specific situations, playing out as we like, you know, and getting satisfaction from seeing what we expect people to be like. You know, we just get the satisfaction of, oh, I said it, this guy was supposed to be like this, oh, this is how life is, this person gets the girl, this person gets the guy, all of that kind of rubbish and ingredient. I don't know, I just came on to have this chit chat about how Netflix is just a funny scheme. I don't know, I think Netflix is just a funny place. I feel like yeah, Netflix is just a funny place. And I'll keep watching, frankly speaking, because there's another plot line there was a plot line I was following from the beginning, and I feel like the Couples Paradise was just like a freak show by the side, or just entertainment by the side. I'm still following the plot line. I wonder if they're still going to keep up to the story to the end. Obviously it's not complete, it's new. They are just up to 7 episodes, 8 today. So yeah, that was just I'm just coming on here. And the purpose of this video is just to like do a kind of backtracking of my ranking of characters of my favorite personalities of Singles Inferno, Netflix dating show. You know, I'm just backtracking completely, as in like I take it all back. I don't, all my genuine emotions, because like what is even genuine about it, but let's just say genuine emotions about these personalities that I spend my time and energy watching and judging, is pointless, it's futile, it doesn't mean anything, because at the end of the day it's a show. You know, everybody's there for a show, and they play their role according to what the writers, to some extent, those characters on those personalities on, or their characters at this point, those characters on Singles Inferno, they are mostly maybe 80% of the 80% of them is just a result. 80% of how they behaved or acted in the on the island and in paradise is just um a result of carefully crafted writing by the people behind the scenes, the creators of the show behind the scenes that we don't ever see. They wrote a story and then they had to find people to play the story out. Couples Paradise, the head writer used a private memory of one of the contestants to run a plot line. In fact, that was the basis of the whole show, and it was good because it was good in the sense that it gave her the result she wanted. But later when she behind the scenes, when she was like discussing with the person, like the beggar, about what she had done, he told her, unfilteredly, that he was hurt, he felt betrayed, and even if he gave her the journal, it didn't mean she had the right to use his private memories. Like, he feels as if he was stabbed or betrayed. And I can't help but think of how the characters on Singles Inferno are being, put through the ringers, put through specific situations just to act out a certain role, to fulfill people's appetite for a reality show. I don't know if I was a good like, if I was, I don't want to judge myself, but if I was actually very, I don't know, if I had the attention span for it, maybe I'll start from how, like, Kim Kardashian era, or the Kardashians era of doing reality shows, Big Brothers, and how the Heels MTV, and link it to Singles Inferno, and how I fell for all of its trappings, and coming to meet it in front of me in Frankly Speaking, that made Couples Paradise as a subplot of the show, coming to meet the reality of it there. It's funny, like, following a reality show and believing it, like, naively, or will I say ignorantly, just believing it for entertainment, but believing it that these are real people's behavior and personalities, and then watching a drama which is the actual fiction, which is supposed to be the actual fiction, and getting a reality check from a drama. Like, getting a reality check for, like, if you see the number of camera crew running around, the heavy equipment, how they have to lug this equipment from one end of the beach to the other, how they have to deal with the public when they go to public spaces, with, like, because they are filming these people every step of the way, in their cars, when they go on dates to restaurant, how they have to buy out the restaurant, how they have to keep crowds at bay. All of it is just like serious, grueling work for the show, the whole crew, you get. And I wonder how the people that are being carried, as in the contestant, how they are being supported by the crew. I wonder how much reality, like how out of touch of reality, they would have to be to project the aspect of genuineness, genuine reactions, genuine answers. They know these people are working so hard, and they know that the expectations of these people is so clearly like clearly written in front of them. So definitely, whenever they interact with each other, I mean the females, the male, the females and the females, whenever they interact with each other, they are interacting with the knowledge of all of this. They're not going to react and say, oh, I don't want to do this. Oh, I don't care if you lose or win the game. Oh, I'm not interested in winning any date. Oh, I don't want to go to this place. I don't want to play any stupid fucking game. I'm not in the mood. They can't do that because the crew behind the scenes are, like, it's not possible for you to ignore their efforts. It's not possible for you to ignore the machinations and all of that. So that was just what I wanted to talk about today, and I hope I made sense. Thank you for watching today's video. Thank you for being here. It means a lot to me. I appreciate you. And obviously I'm not, my way of making these expositions are not scripted. They're not scripted, so they don't have this documentary feel to them that usually most commentary channels on YouTube have. But I hope you are still able to, I don't know, follow along and feel a sense of connection with what I'm saying. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Like, subscribe, and tell me what you think about reality dramas and all of that behind the scenes. Bye bye.